obviously God is blessing your work and is giving you influence. And this whole conference is about being known.
Right.
And it's living in that tension of being known, but knowing that you're known. And so how do you yourself live in that tension? Because God has obviously put you on a platform. He's using you.
Yeah.
But you know that if you're not known, it affects the platform. Talk about that for yourself.
It's an interesting thing, you know. Obviously, I find so for me, as a kid, wanted to be significant, wanted to be known. You know, didn't grow up with my biological father, had some daddy issues, and wasn't the best athlete, wasn't the greatest, you know, student. I think I failed gym in the 9th grade. I failed
gym
in the 9th grade.
How do you fail gym?
Exactly, exactly. So
did you just not show up?
I didn't want to. I was too cool to dress out.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like, what, gym shorts?
Yeah,
No,
I'm not doing
with it.
it.
I'm too cool. I'm wearing my jeans. So,
right. So you get the
I
F.
failed.
You failed gym.
I failed science because I needed glasses, but I refused to wear them, so I couldn't see the board.
Because you wanted to be cool.
Right. So, so there was this thing of like, I just want to be accepted. I want to be known, and then I'm known by God now, and my giftings and my talents are being cultivated, and now, I thought it would just switch over like that. Like, okay, I get it. I know truth now. I'm not no longer worrying about being known by other people. I'm fine. And I remember, as a young man, just kind of doing music with my newfound faith, and I was invited to perform at a college, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show them. They're gonna know. And I get up there, and this is back before I had a DJ. It was just kind of a remote control and a laptop. And I push play, and there's a CD in there, and it just starts skipping, you know. And that was the concert, and it wouldn't work right. And I remember feeling just like, oh my gosh, I'm crushed.
Right.
And that was the kind of the moment when I realized, okay, like there's a humility that I'm gonna have to wrestle with here. This is like a dangerous thing that I'm dealing with. So now, it is a tension, as you said. It's just a constant tension of knowing, like, okay, this is people's perception of who you are, and this is, you know, how they value you and what they see.
Right.
But I think I've been so scared and fearful of believing my own press clippings, so scared and fearful of thinking that it's me who did this, that I've been guarded from that. And there's moments where it rises up, and you know, I think last year when I won a Grammy, I was shocked. You know, I was like, oh, I won a Grammy. How did this happen?
Right.
And I just threw that out casually. You like how I did that, right? No, I'm just joking.
We'll go back to it.
But long story short, there's moments, there's lapses where you do start to believe that it's because of you that this is happening, where you can just trace back your studying and your hard work and your whatever, and assume that it's all because of just your incredibleness.
Right.
And so I need those moments of looking in the mirror and seeing that little kid who doesn't know anything, who's not that cool, who's not a great athlete, that kid who CD skipped the first time he rapped. So.
Yeah, and to see the story of what God has done.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, even I so appreciate what you're saying, because I think what you're describing is this practice that we think was reserved for the Old Testament, and that's the worship of idols. And anything that gets elevated above God, it's the worship of an idol.
Absolutely.
And so often the idol that we put up there is ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious for you, because you so beautifully articulated gaining an understanding of that. What have been some of the spiritual practices that you've begun to do to make sure, don't put me up on that platform, don't put me up on that altar that's reserved for only God?
Right. Well, one has definitely been believing the proverb that let the lips of another praise you, not your own.
Yes.
And so it just is really believing that this is God's word. Take it seriously, and you don't have to fight for people to acknowledge whatever it is that you're bringing to the table, because it ultimately comes from God.
It does.
Fighting against selfish ambition. The Bible speaks against selfish ambition. So,
and vain conceit. Yeah.
right. So just thinking through, okay, is this Lecrae's ambition? Because God's plans are better than my dreams. And so, am I fighting for my ambition, or do I want God's ultimate will? So it's processing that way. Practically, though, it's taking time to return to God's descriptions of himself and his attributes. You know, looking at Isaiah and just seeing God talk about himself and being reminded, like, who do you think you are, Lecrae? You know what I mean? Like, this is who God is.
Yeah.
And then knowing from whence I came, having a sober perspective, looking at a book like James in the scriptures and saying, okay, you know, you got to put this mirror up to your face and see what you look like, and you constantly be readjusted and tweaked. And then, you know, loving my wife, because she keeps me super humble. She reminds me regularly that, no, you're just a human. I just want you to know that. And you need to wash your clothes and take a shower. So.